Welcome to Cover Number 2. I am sorry the other video went over. And so we are going to talk about mixed people not having a safe space. Alright? So I left it live, and y'all saw me in one of the videos that I recorded while wearing this shirt. I left it live, and they were talking about biracial people, and it was biracial safe place. And I had got in there earlier and told them, I was born in '73, so I was telling them how if more people, we didn't have a safe space back then when I was a kid, and I told them, they are the future, and that they have to fight for their space. And I told them, we don't have a support group. We've never had a support group. And even amongst mixed kids, we still didn't have a support group. We had mixed friends. And then you get into like colorism and stuff like that. Then we talked about acting and how I can never get work because I'm mixed and no one really knows who I am. And respectfully, if they write anything for mixed characters, if you're not female or if you're not The Rock, you don't really get the job. Which is another reason why I build myself out now as a Native American, because I am mixed Native. And I'm not denouncing my blackness or my whiteness, except like on the issue of the Pretendians versus the Native Americans on TikTok. Outside of that, then I definitely have an issue, and I have definitely sided with the Native Americans. When in the live, they talked about how you have to pick and choose a side, and how a lot of black people try to make mixed people pick and choose a side, and how other mixed people go through the same shit with non-black people, as in whites or Asians as well. Since no one in my family is Asian, we don't know that experience. And the thing with mixed people, we shouldn't have to choose. We should be able to identify with them. Now, in this situation that I'm currently in, because for 20 some odd years, James Williams Jr. has not been able to get any acting work. Period. Hands down. I've gone to every casting call. I've been with 99 for 3 years, so hopefully this is going to start working in my favor now. I'm in a good place, but I need 99 to step up and start giving me auditions versus webinars. And I think this weekend, depending on the weather, I will try to do a Instagram audition to post up for Cobra Kai. And excuse me for burping in your faces. I'm gonna do an Instagram audition. I'm also gonna film it for here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do it on my phone and the laptop at the same time. And I'm probably gonna make like a 5 or 10 minute video, showcase some of the weapons I can do, and then I'm gonna post it and say to whoever can get this to Cobra Kai's casting, here you go. So that's a thought, that's a plan. It also depends on the weather because it's raining. It's Thursday. It's supposed to rain until Saturday. So there's that. There's not a lot of room that I can do this in my house. So I might have to do this shit at work tomorrow. I'll figure it out when I wake up. If it's raining tomorrow, I might be able to do it at my job. I might not be able to do it at my job because my boss will. This is like the last weekend of this month, and he usually jams out with his band. So it's probably not going to happen. But if it can happen, I will figure it out. Any freaking how. As an actor who has not worked for anyone other than himself, all my stuff's here on YouTube except for like my good stuff because that got stolen. But as an actor, you gotta kind of take the roles that you can get. And when it comes to Hollywood, again, as a mixed person, I'm not noticed. I'm under 6 feet tall, so no one really looks at me when we go to casting calls. It doesn't matter if I have my ponytail. It doesn't matter If I have my hair down, it doesn't matter because they can look dead at me. They can tell that I'm not all the way black. They can tell. But I'm not on their list because there is a list. Trust me when I tell y'all, there is a list. And in that list, it will tell you what the casting directors are looking for what film. All right? So the fact that I might be one of the best martial artists to walk through that door means nothing. But, I mean, you got to weigh the pros and cons in it, and you got to take the good with the bad. And I will tell you, being an actor, you will have thick skin. You will get used to hearing no. And if you don't like hearing no, you still got to be persistent, and you still got to keep going. You have to keep going. You cannot give up. You cannot quit. You have to keep going. Now, I have a friend who does theater, and he keeps saying, why don't you ever try theater? And I'm like, dude, I love that you're trying to help me. I get it. But I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses. I am not a theater actor. I don't remember lines very well, and you can't undo a fuck up in the middle of a play. Alright? Shout out to Roland, by the way. He's a good guy, yo. Roland, I know you don't watch me, but shout out to Roland. Shout out to Courtney Monroe. Anyway, when it comes to acting, it's not that I'm not comfortable. I'm very comfortable being in front of people, being in front of the camera. I'm a little shy when that camera's not rolling. But I also know my strengths and my weaknesses. Sorry, I had to turn that. That was getting kind of nasty, and I don't want to lose my lunch. The thing is, as a mixed person, we don't exist in theater. We don't. We really don't. The closest thing that Shakespeare has to a mixed person is Othello. We all know that didn't work out well for him or his wife. So, what the hell am I supposed to play? The only Shakespeare play that I know that I could do, because I would only do this one part, would be the old man in Julius Caesar who tells him to beware of the Ides of March. Because that's the only line. 2 lines. Caesar! Caesar! Who calls for Caesar? It is I, Caesar. And what would you have of me, old man? Beware, beware, beware of the Ides of March. Excuse me. And that accent was trash. Yes, I am my own worst critic.
Shall we try it again? Caesar, Caesar.
Who calls for Caesar?
It is I.
What shall you have of me, old man?
Caesar, beware, beware of the Ides of March.
Really, that is preposterous.
Beware, beware, beware of the Ides of March.
Or maybe y'all might want to hear me in my, Lila mode. Incoming message, Miguel. That's as soft as I can get. So it's not that I don't have talent. It's just that I'm not noticed. Now, again, when it comes down to being mixed, we don't have a support group. Acting's a pain in the ass because most people rarely look at you, and if they do see you, even if they tell you, you're not a bad-looking man, Mr. Williams, you're just not what we're looking for. You understand the problem, alright? As a mixed person, it is dreadfully hard to get work for me. Doesn't mean it's not dreadfully hard for somebody else. It's just dreadfully hard for me. I got a lot of shit working against me. The number one thing being my height. Because I'm only 5'3" and a half. And the thing with that is, they don't really want short heroes. But they obviously didn't really read the X-Men books, because Wolverine technically is only 5'3". So you have to you have to wonder the how and the why. And then you have to wonder, how do I get this door open so that I can get in there? And again, when it comes to being mixed, it's a whole different ball game of I got to get this door open, but if they don't let me in, what can I do? Mixed people, we should never have to choose which race we feel most comfortable in. We shouldn't. However, and more often than not, we don't get a say. We literally don't get a say. From the black people, I've always heard it was, "You're not black. You're never black. You're not going to be black enough." And it was worse from the girls because it was like, "We don't date you. You're just a half breed. We don't like you. You're nothing like us. You don't talk black. You don't walk black. You don't act black." How the fuck do you walk black? How do you talk black? Those are things I faced. And from white people was, "Psh, you're a half breed. You'll never be one of us. You'll never be one of us. You'll never, ever, ever be one of us." Only one white person has ever called me the N word that I can recall. I don't think she ever called another person that word because I busted her fucking lip. I'm not proud of that. I do not support women abuse in any way, shape, or form, and that was the first and only girl that I hit that was not kin to me. Because in my family, the girls fight like the boys. We like fucking Klingons, yo. If you think the boys can fight, the girls can fight too. Because that's what we fucking do. Now, with the natives, I've only had two bad racist problems. Because I wanted to date a pure-blooded native girl. Her daddy was the elected chief and council. Her two uncles and her were on the wheelchair basketball team for whatever city, state, wherever they came from. They had purple and white jerseys. Hopefully she's found a very good, decent man. And hopefully nobody's rolled her uncles down hills or into oncoming traffic. I was deadly serious when I told him that shit. Was it the right thing to do? Fuck no, but I was 23. And I'm not excusing my age, but they started it. Okay? And I was going to finish it. I don't start fights, I finish them. I try to be merciful, but I don't start them. This damn thing. Anyhow, so the story goes like this. This is the Cliff Notes version. I was talking to the niece, and the youngest brother came up to me. He looked at her. He told her she needed to leave. And she respectfully left because that was her uncle. She was 18. I was 23. And she had a medical condition. I think one of her legs was like longer than the other or some shit. But anyway, that wasn't important. The girl was beautiful as fuck, and I could see through all of the flaws, man. Because I'm not like the most handsomest man my goddamn self. So I mean, it wasn't a big fucking deal. But she was beautiful. She was drop dead fucking gorgeous. And her uncle looked me in the face and said, "You are unpure native. You stay the hell away from my niece." 23-year-old me. Okay. Can you get out of that wheelchair? No, I'm crippled from the legs down. I said, okay, well, see, that kind of fucks it up for me because there's no honor in beating a man who can't stand up and defend himself. So how about this? How about I push you down this motherfucking hill as fast as I can into that goddamn tree? I said, you heard what the fuck I said. I will push you down this goddamn hill. He commenced to roll off, and his big brother, the middle child, came up with his Jan Brady syndrome. He commenced to repeat the same shit that Tiny said. They both were bigger than me. I'm pretty sure if they could stand up, they probably would have been able to fight me. So he rose up and says the same bullshit about me not being a pure native. But there's a garage there now, but there was a hill with a tree in it at the Jefferson School. And I looked at this dude and I said, well, as I told your brother, can you stand up? He said, no, I'm paralyzed from the waist down. I said, okay, well, how about this? How about I roll your ass into traffic? Because there's a truck coming, and I'll roll you right in front of that motherfucker. And then another native that I know and respect, who's a Mohawk, he he had a little chit chat with them, and so that it wouldn't cause any problems, I respected my Mohawk brother, and I stayed the fuck away from him. Now I'm not Mohawk, but the Mohawk in which I speak, Harcourt, um, he had to set them straight. But by the end of it, it was their last day there, so I never saw them again. But it just made me mad that as a mixed person, that these two natives would do that to me. Now, my grandmother on my dad's side, her mother's more native than my grandmother on my mom's side. And so, my grandma on my mom's side, still alive. My grandma on my dad's side, my great grandmother rather, she's gone. My other grandmother would die back in 2008, which would be a few years later. Because being 23 was a long time ago. But neither one of them ever prepared me for that shit. None of them ever prepared me for lateral violence from natives. They never said shit. They never told me that natives did not like mixed natives. I found out though. No, found out. So it was what it was, and I dealt with it, but I wasn't happy. And I never brought it up when I went down to go see my grandmother in Smithfield. I just never brought it up. No, because that's the same grandmother that made me eat pancakes with corn in it. So yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Every time I think about that shit, it gets me a little bit angry. But she's not the only person in my family who force fed me. I don't eat beans. If you've been with me long enough, then you probably have heard the story of me being force fed beans, lima beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, beets, anything beans. I was force fed, so I don't eat beans. I know I got completely off track with this video, and I'm sorry. So we're gonna bring it down with this, because I gotta go walk the dogs and then go get in a shower. There are very few places or spaces where mixed people have a safe place. So I try to do that, but to be honest, as a mixed person, we don't have a support group, and we need one. So if you're mixed and you have these feelings of abandonment or not fitting in, then this is the only thing that matters, regardless of everything else that came in that video. This video, rather. You are not alone. We are here. We're out there. You may just have to find us. And don't be surprised when you meet people who are mixed who don't look mixed. Alright? I can't hide my mixedness. I can't. Alright? But I am mixed. That being said, I'm Echo Van Grove. This is Comfort Effort number 2. Be seeing you. Thank you for watching.